former NFL quarterback and former Falcons quarterback, Matt Schaub, joining us here via the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. Schaub, there are games where you lose. There are games where you are disappointed in your performance. There are not many games where you are beaten 30-0 as a pro. And it feels like right now there needs to be a change somewhere in the organization.
You're exactly right. I mean, I get the sentiment, and there's games that you lose, you play tough. Takes Tampa Bay week 1, right? Mm-hmm. Home opener, a lot going. You're excited for the season, and it doesn't go your way against a good football team. You go to Carolina, another divisional opponent that on paper you should beat 8 times out of 10. And you lay an egg like that, and I get everyone's sentiment, and everyone wants to be doom and gloom, and I get it. There is a lot of football left. But I will say, and I've been listening to you guys, there are a lot of things throughout that game yesterday that you look at, and they're operational. They're things that we've talked about, and they're glaring through 3 weeks. They've shown up. Some of the clock management, some of the game operation, just to get the ball snapped, has been a problem, and especially in critical moments. And they're not getting fixed. And to only have 1 touchdown through 2 games with this offense, with the playmakers, there needs to be some looking in the mirror, both by players and coaches, everybody. I think it's all hands on deck, and there needs to be a change, especially with the Commanders, who are playing good football right now, coming in. The road doesn't get easier.
What is the problem, do you think, with the communication from upstairs to the headset? Does it go through the sideline? Is it always coming from Zach Robinson? What's the voice he hears? And why do we think the process has been taking so long and become really a huge issue for getting out of the huddle to the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I wish I could say definitively how the lines of communication operate through the headsets for this current staff.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's Zach Robinson exclusively. There's only one voice to Michael Penix.
Right.
And I would assume it's Zach Robinson. I've been at other places where it was from the OC to a quarterback coach or whatever, but I don't see that taking place. I think it's straight from Zach. The thing that I'm not sure of that would be great to get clarity on is how many voices are going through just from coach to coach in between play calls or in between series on what the process is and how they want to attack and adjust the next series. And what are your next 3rd down calls? What are your next 1st and 10 coming out of a new possession? What are those calls, and how many voices are throwing ideas? Because places I've been that have been the most successful, you already have that before you get to Sunday. And the OC just goes and calls. And now sometimes you have to talk to the head coach on whether you're going to go for it or what you might want to do strategically. But I think there's a lot of voices that might be going on. That's my assumption, and that's my thought, that there's way too many voices giving ideas and thoughts and suggestions, and it doesn't provide as much clarity. And then I do know this, that some of these play calls are really wordy, and I think we talked about it last week after the Vikings game where this did come up before. There's some very wordy play calls, and to be able to relay them to Michael Penix, him call the play, and still get to the line with ample time to get the play run, I think there's multiple facets here. One thing that I would suggest, and I think would be really good for this offense, because, and Finn, you know this, some of the best offenses operate with tempo, rhythm, get to the line of scrimmage, get the play called. Just players sometimes operate where they can just go fast. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see them do a little bit more mid-game, just up-tempo, get to the line, let's get plays run, get the ball in space, and go and play and get the defense on their heels.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing that, and I think Michael Penix would operate much smoother and crisper in that.
We had a package called Texas where we had 10 or 12 plays where it was 10 really, and you had numbers. You said you literally yelled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then everybody on the field knew exactly what they were doing. There was a screen involved. There was a draw option. There's simple routes, completion type stuff, high percentage stuff where you get in and out of the huddle very quickly. You don't even huddle up. Just get to the line of scrimmage, give the 1 or 2 or 5 or sign to everybody and go.
To that point, Schaub, what should we be seeing? When should the huddle break? When does Michael Penix need to be at the line to survey? Because they're not even giving themselves time to change plays because the clock keeps winding down. What should it look like? And if it's slow coming in, what is his responsibility to speed things up or get the huddle broken in time?
Well, to your first point, I would like to see the play call coming in at, like, as soon as the play before is over and the play clock is getting reset at 25. I want the play call coming in. By 20, you should have it. You're in the huddle, you have it, you're spitting it out to the guys in the huddle. You're getting to the line of scrimmage with 15.
Yep.
And that gives you time if you have a check, if you have an audible. It gives you an opportunity to dummy count, to get the defense to show their hand. It gives you a lot of options, but you're getting in and out. And that's what I would want to see. I think it just has to happen from the end of one play to breaking the huddle next play much faster. That process needs to speed up so that we can go and operate. On the follow-up to your second part, home team, is I know the play calls are wordy. I don't even know how many plays they have week to week in their entire package. Is it a 200-play game plan like Kyle Shanahan used to have, or is it more condensed like a Dirk Cutter or some other offensive coordinator, Steve Sarkisian? Like, what does that look like? Because I think it behooves any young quarterback to learn, and I'm not saying Mike doesn't already do this. I'm just saying this is a suggestion because it's how I was brought up in the game, to memorize the game plan. Especially first and second down calls, maybe not so much, but your critical situations, third down, red zone, short yardage, goal line, 2 minutes, obviously, you should have those plays where you hear double and you know the next 10 words. Like, you just know because you've been studying it and you have it ingrained because the crowd gets loud. Play clock can be behind you, and you want to get to the line of scrimmage with certain cadences to give yourself an advantage. I think that would really help, and that would get them in and out of the play call and get it going at the line of scrimmage much faster.
Matt Schaub, former NFL and Falcons quarterback, joining us here in the locker room on The Fan.
Schaub, to go down that line even further, there seems to be an operational problem. Once again, we had timeout, delay of game. I don't know what's going on the sideline where you can take a timeout, come out, and then still have a delay of game penalty. When you watch Coach Raheem and you watch everything that they're trying to get accomplished, to me, it just doesn't feel like operationally we're very clean. What are you seeing from, kind of watching what they're doing?
Well, it's obviously, you're right. It's not clean whatsoever. There's no excuse for third and one, calling a timeout, coming out of it, and not taking a delay. Like, you can't have that. Those things just simply cannot happen in the NFL or college for that matter. I'm sorry. Like, you need to come out off the sideline, know your play call, relay it to the guys in the huddle before the ball, the official winds the clock coming out of the timeout, and you're ready to go. Like, those are critical situations that cost you football games and then raise so many questions. And then this has happened numerous times over the last couple of years, right? And so those things, and you always have certain people that are in charge of time management and clock management and watching some of these situational things in the football game that are so glaring when they come up in a negative way that you don't know happen when they go right, because they should. And when they cost you games and cost you points, and man, it's tough to swallow, because those things that you get a lot of questions, and that's just simply operational. That's not scheme. That's not play calling. That's just simply just not operating effectively. And it's one of those days where, and the NFL is not a silver lining business. You guys know this, Finn, you know it. But usually when you have losses, there's certain things you can build upon, positives you can take away from it. And there's simply not any coming from this game. And this is one of those Mondays where you're a coach, you're Raheem, you need to go in and you need to flip a table, because you don't have a veteran team that's experienced enough positive success that you can just say, that's one game, let's move on to the next one. We have 14 more of these. You can't just push it under the rug. You can do that sometimes after a Tampa Bay loss by 3, but you can't do it after this one, because now you're 0-2 in the division. You need to wake some people up and realize, like, guys, our job, we're playing for our jobs right now, and it's only September.
Yeah, it's hard to get angry when you're dapping everybody up after the game and smiling and shaking hands and kissing babies. So we'll see how angry he can get. I don't think he can get very angry. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see as this week goes, but it's, we know who's coming in. We got Dan Quinn coming in.
Yep.
The Commanders, who are playing good football. They're chomping at the bit. It's a hungry football team over there, and I know that. I know how he coaches. I know what he's saying to his players. He's saying, let's go in and put an exclamation point, confirm the doubt that's in the Atlanta Falcons' mind.
Mm-hmm. Your thoughts
what
on
are you going to do this week as the Falcons to say, no, this ain't happening in our house?
And there you go. And that was where I was going. You know, you players and coaches, you guys, your mind's totally different. Get to the next game 1 week at a time. As fans, we have different latitude. And my latitude is this. Win this game, you're 2-2, and you still have a lot in front of you. Lose this game, you're 1-3. You're way behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the season could be over. What is the result if you win? What is the result if you lose, if you are Arthur Blank?
Yeah, if you win, everything's right in front of you. Obviously, 0-2 in the division. That you're swimming upstream, but you're 2-2. So you were able to battle back. You're 50, you're 500 after 1 month. All right, there's a lot of football left. You're in a good spot. 1-3. You got some issues. You got to really, find some soul searching and really evaluate where you're going as a football team schematically and possibly personnel wise, just to right the ship. But 2-2, you got everything right in front of you, and there's a lot of football left because, especially if you beat a Commanders team that's going to be in the mix late in the season. When you talk about playoff spots, head-to-head matchups, things like that, this is a big game this week for sure.
Well, good stuff, Schaub. We look forward to talking to you every week, and we'll see, hopefully, if we have a better conversation next week.
Would love to have that, guys.